Greetings, you beautiful people. A huge welcome to all our new viewers and a hearty welcome back to our regulars. Before we dive in, give that subscribe button a friendly click, won't you? Today, we're diving headfirst into the turbulent waters of royal reporting, particularly focusing on Omid Scobie's critique of the royal Rota's failings. For those who might not know, Omid Scobie is a well-respected journalist and royal commentator, known for his no-holds-barred observations and insights. His recent critique has stirred up quite a storm, exposing the questionable silence of the royal Rota, the group of royal editors tasked with reporting on the monarchy, following some explosive revelations. This silence, as Scobie points out, raises some serious questions about transparency, accountability, and the role of the media in holding the powerful to account. Intrigued? You should be. Let's delve into the depths of this critique and unravel the truth, shall we? Now, let's unpack the critique made by Omid Scobie. Omid Scobie, a renowned royal correspondent and co-author of the revealing book Finding Freedom, Harry and Meghan and the Making of a Modern Royal Family, has been vocal about the glaring discrepancies in the UK media's coverage of the British royal family. He recently called attention to the deafening silence of the UK media, specifically the royal Rota, after explosive allegations were made against King Charles and Prince William. These allegations, broadcast by Channel 4 dispatches and published in The Times, accused the two royals of secret profiteering from the National Health Service, the armed forces, and UK charities. It's a serious charge, one that potentially implicates the monarchy in questionable financial activities. Yet, according to Scobie, the media chose to remain largely silent. Scobie's critique is not merely an observation, but a stern call to action. He challenges the royal Rota, the select group of royal editors tasked with reporting on the monarchy, to live up to their journalistic responsibilities. It's been 2 days since the allegations were made public, and yet not a single member of the royal Rota has published any meaningful follow-up. This lack of coverage is worrying. The public has a right to know the truth about how their tax pounds are being used. Yet the royal Rota appears to have prioritized the interests of the palace over the public's need for transparency and accountability. Scobie's critique brings to light the role of the royal Rota in shaping the narrative around the monarchy. Traditionally, the royal Rota has enjoyed exclusive access to royal engagements, which they use to provide coverage and analysis. However, Scobie points out that the royal Rota seems to have strayed from its journalistic duty to hold the powerful accountable. Instead, they appear to have become complicit in covering up potential wrongdoing. This critique calls into question the very essence of journalism, which is to question, to probe, and to uncover the truth. Journalists have a duty to their readers and viewers to present the facts as they are, without bias or favoritism. Yet in this case, the royal Rota seems to have fallen short of this standard. Scobie's critique also sheds light on the power dynamics at play within the media landscape. The royal Rota, by virtue of its close relationship with the monarchy, wields considerable influence over how the royals are perceived. However, Scobie warns that this close relationship should not compromise the integrity of their reporting. It's a critique that resonates far beyond the confines of the UK media. Around the world, journalists are often faced with the challenge of reporting on powerful individuals and institutions. But as Scobie reminds us, journalism should never be about protecting the powerful at the expense of truth and transparency. Scobie's critique is not just about calling out the royal Rota's failure to cover the allegations against King Charles and Prince William. It's a call for a more accountable and transparent media, one that isn't afraid to challenge the powerful and uphold the truth. So, you see, Scobie's critique is a wake-up call to the media and the public. It's a reminder that the media must always strive for truth and transparency, holding the powerful accountable and serving the public interest. In a world where misinformation is rampant, the need for responsible journalism has never been more critical. Now that we understand Scobie's critique, let's turn our attention to the royal Rota's failings. The royal Rota is a group of elite royal journalists tasked with the responsibility of reporting on the monarchy. But in this instance, their silence has been louder than any headline. The lack of coverage regarding the explosive revelations about King Charles and Prince William's alleged secret profiteering is nothing less than a failure of duty. The Royal Rota's selective silence is not only concerning, but also deeply troubling. It's as if they've chosen to prioritize the palace's interests over the public's right to know. This brings us to a crucial question. Who are they serving, really? The monarchy or the public? In an ideal world, the Royal Rota, like any other journalistic entity, should be the public's watchdog, maintaining a keen eye on the monarchy's activities and actions. Their primary responsibility should be to the public, ensuring transparency and accountability from the monarchy. However, their silence on this issue suggests a different reality. Instead of being the public's watchdog, they appear to be more of a lapdog to the palace, prioritizing the interests of the monarchy over the need for public transparency and accountability. This kind of journalism, if we can still call it that, is not only a disservice to the public, but also a betrayal of the very essence of journalism. The Royal Rota's silence on these allegations against King Charles and Prince William is particularly concerning, given the gravity of these claims. If true, these allegations suggest that the monarchy has been exploiting taxpayer money for their personal gain. This isn't a minor faux pas that can be brushed under the royal carpet. It's a serious accusation that demands scrutiny and accountability. Yet, instead of pursuing this story with the vigor it deserves, the Royal Rota has chosen to remain curiously silent. Their silence, however, is not without consequence. By failing to cover this story adequately, they are effectively aiding in the cover-up of potential wrongdoing. This is not just a failure of journalism, it's a failure of public trust. What's more, by choosing not to cover this story, the Royal Rota is essentially denying the public their right to know. This is not just about the monarchy or the Royal Rota, it's about us, the public. It's about our right to know how our tax pounds are being used, or rather, misused. The Royal Rota's silence on this issue is a stark reminder of the power imbalance that exists between the monarchy and the public. It's a sobering reminder that even in the 21st century, the monarchy can still exert considerable influence over the media, shaping the narrative to suit their interests. This is not the kind of journalism we deserve. We deserve journalists who are fearless in their pursuit of the truth, who are willing to hold the powerful to account, who prioritize the public's right to know over any other interests. Sadly, in this instance, the Royal Rota has fallen short of these expectations. Their silence is a glaring testament to their failings, a stark reminder of their misplaced priorities, and a blatant betrayal of their duty as journalists. So, where does this leave us? It leaves us, the public, in the dark, denied of our right to know, while the monarchy continues to operate behind a veil of secrecy, shielded by the very entity that should be holding them accountable. The Royal Rota's silence is indeed deafening, wouldn't you agree? So there we have it, folks. A critique that shakes the very foundation of the media's relationship with the monarchy. We've explored Omid Scobie's insightful critique of the Royal Rota's failure to adequately cover the alleged secret profiteering by King Charles and Prince William. We've examined the deafening silence from the Royal Rota, a silence that raises questions about the media's commitment to transparency and accountability. Indeed, Scobie's critique serves as a stark reminder of the media's duty to the public, a duty that appears to have been compromised in favor of the palace's interests. The media should be the public's watchdog, not the monarchy's lapdog. This critique is not just about the Royal Rota's shortcomings, but also about the larger issue of the media's role in our society. We must continue to demand transparency, hold power to account, and never settle for silence. Thank you, dear viewers, for your time and attention. Do remember to subscribe, like, and share our content. Until next time, stay curious and keep questioning.